If you take good care of your plants when you're growing them, what you expect at the end of the day is fruit, to eat the fruit. If it's pawpaws, jackfruit, mangoes, whatever the case may be, you will expect to eat the fruit from those plants because you've taken good care of them. The same is true if you're rearing animals. You expect to reap from them. Maybe even if it is a venture that you're taking good care of. If you're taking good care of your clients, you expect to get a result from them. The same is true when you take care of your boss's business, your employer's business. Once you mind what they mind, once your heart is for what they are for, you will get a huge reward. Why? Because Proverbs 27:18 says, whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit, so he who waits on his master will be honored. Now, are you ready to be honored by your master? Do exactly that. Sup, beautiful people? My name is Steve, but you can call me Steve the Rev. Listen, I share with you a proverb daily so that you can go back and read the whole chapter from the book of Proverbs. 2 things will happen to you when you do that. 1, you will encounter Jesus. 2, you will grow in wisdom. I say 2, 3 things. 3, you will thrive in life. Okay. Let me get a grip on myself. Let's go. Today's proverb is Proverbs 27:18, and this is what it says in the NKJV. Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit, so he who waits on his master will be honored. Now, the CEV Contemporary English Version says that, take care of a tree and you will eat its fruit. Look after your master and you will be praised. As workers who tend a fig tree are allowed to eat the fruit, so workers who protect their employers' interests will be rewarded. The Amplified Classic says, whoever tends the fig tree shall eat its fruit. So he who patiently and faithfully guards and heeds his master shall be honored. Honoré, that's French. And the Passion Translation says that, tend an orchard and you'll have to eat, and you'll have fruit to eat. Serve the master's interests and you receive honor that is sweet. So let me tell you a little story. Back in the day, way back in the day, just about 2009, I got an opportunity to work for somebody very close to me. That person is my brother-in-law. Now, this was my first employer after my parents. So that says I hadn't worked with so many different people who are non-family. But this was one person who was family, but a little bit, there's a little bit of distance. I got this opportunity to work for him. Now, my brother-in-law was a little tough. Did I say tough? You can't share that with him. Anyway, he already knows that he's tough. When it comes to doing the work, he's like all business, no jokes. So quite often he rebuked me on several occasions, and sometimes his rebukes came at a very loud tone, where there's just a distance of about 10, 20, 30 meters between you two. But he would be, rebuking you on the top of his voice. So sometimes almost everyone was hearing the rebuke, not as comfortable, but you get through it. But I remember many people were afraid of him. But I made a prayer to God. God, grant me favor before my boss. Not my brother-in-law, my boss. That was it. I made that prayer and I actually forgot about it. But what happened is that in the process, only by God's grace, I ended up being the kind of person who minds a lot of what he minds. I used to mind a lot of his business. Quite often there would be days which would be like public holidays, festive seasons, where I didn't take a day off because I knew he wanted that place open. Now I got to go, because for him, he's like, every day we are open. Now, many of those days were Sundays, so I didn't go to church. But that was back then. It's a different story now. So I would open shop. I would be there. I would be the guy to go to. If I was having a day off and he called me in between, I would, just be like, man, what is life? I don't really want to go, but I would end up going. So I would mind a lot of things that concerned his business. I faithfully took care of the money that I was given. So I would bank the money because I was as if cashier stroke manager stroke driver. It was a washing bay. So I did that, and I did it like, and the thing he kept on telling me, Steve, this is business. The way you take care of one man's business will determine whether God will give you what is yours. Be faithful. I kept on being faithful. I kept on going. It was never easy. It was sometimes tight. Sometimes you have to be at the workplace by 7 a.m. only for you to leave at 9 p.m. Repeat, repeat, repeat. I remember my very first month working there. I worked a whole month. No day off. I was extremely tired. But I kept on going. I kept on going. But one of the things that really happened is that God granted me, by my way of working for him and minding his business, I would do home errands for him. I would do work errands for him. I would like just go out of my way to do whatever he asked of me. So I did it. But one of the things I realized, and I only realized it later, is that many people got fired and they left. And I still kept my opportunity there. I still kept my job at that place. And even when I left that workplace, I still continued having a great relationship with him. Now you could say, oh, but that is your brother-in-law. Yeah, he's my brother-in-law, but he could have also taken the direction of maybe firing me or letting me go, but he didn't let me go. He gave me an opportunity, and our hearts have been intertwined like this. God granted me so much favor before him, so much that even after leaving, going to university, he would always call me up if he was in a tight spot. If he was in a tight spot and I had a day off, I would go work and then go back to university or go to wherever I was working from. And straight out of university, he gets an opportunity because we were in the car wash business. So what he did, he would often, because he was running a very successful car wash at that time, he often got opportunities from people telling him, hey, we have a property here, can you set up a washing bay? Hey, I have this failing car wash, can you take it over? So one time he gets an opportunity in a very good place. So he's like, nah, I'm pretty stretched. I don't want to take that one. So he simply called me and he's like, hey, could you come and take on this opportunity? And I took it on. So that's how I ended up doing, that was my first business, having a washing bay. Why? Because I was faithful with another man's. Because I tended his garden, it was only a matter of time that I would be honored by him. Now that was not enough. At the time that I was getting married, I needed cars. Now this gentleman went over and ahead and he looked for a Range Rover, a good Range Rover for my bride and my beautiful bride. So this is, now you could be wondering, oh, okay, what's going on? That's your brother-in-law. Well, he's my brother-in-law. I've not seen him do that for everyone, but he did it for me. I worked for him. I did mind his business. And then countless times he had other opportunities. Some of them, when I became a pastor, I couldn't really take them on because it was the kind of work that would pull me. I would have to choose between either doing that business or minding God's business, where my better reward is. But the opportunities have been endless. I remember one time he had a shop that had that was selling clothes. So he gives me a buzz one time and he's like, hey man, what are you up to? I have some clothes here in my shop. Could you come and check them out and pick out whatever you want? So just about that time, I really desired to get colored pants. That was the beginning of the colored pants age. I got me a turquoise, I got me a pink, I got me a baby pink, I got me a mustard, there was a lime green. Yeah, I outdid myself, man. So all I'm trying to say, and this has been tend your master's business. Now that is just my brother-in-law, my employer. But think about where you're working from. One of the characteristics of many people and what makes them average is the fact that they just do enough and they mind their own business, not their master's business. If you ever want to be promoted in a workplace, if you ever want to be promoted in a church, if you ever want to be promoted in the house of the Lord, you have to mind the business of your master. Your master will depend on different levels. It could be your supervisor. What's his business? Mind it. It could be the company head, the one who leads the organization, owns the organization. Maybe you're the CFO's CMO or whatever C that you are, and you're in the C-suite. Mind your master's business. Mind your boss's business. And by doing so, you will be honored. Now, I need you to know that there's reward for faithfulness, whether men see it or not. You see, we do everything that we do as unto the Lord. If you're one of those who's into the idea of, you're only faithful when you're being watched, you're not a person of integrity, you're a liar. If you only get good at what you're doing when your employer is watching you, you're a fool. You need to get fired. You need to be at your best. Think about your boss's best. What do they want? What do they want to see? Mind their business. Have I dropped the ball here and there? Yeah, I feel like I've dropped the ball here and there. At times when I've got opportunities where I should have been minding my business, my boss's business. Let's look at the Lord, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Oh, Jesus. What's God's business? Salvations. Why don't we mind God's business? Preach the gospel. Matthew 28. Preach the gospel, make disciples of all the nations to the farther ends of the earth. How about we mind that business? I'm part of Worship Harvest Ministries, a church that never used to do a lot of evangelism. But then when we started doing a lot of evangelism, which is God's business, we started being intentional, our church grew. When you start minding your father's business, when you start minding your employer's business, your employer starts taking care of you. In this case, God is your employer. So he's like, no, please, a few more rewards, a few more honor. A little more honor for him. Why? Because that's where his heart is. If your boss minds about growing the clientele and you mind about the artwork only, you're a fool. If your boss minds a lot about the safety and health of the human resource and all you mind about is cutting costs, you're a fool. Start minding your boss's business. Where is their heart? They're always thinking about the vision, what they want to see. They want to see what is God's vision, to see the whole world saved, to see people come to the knowledge of him, to have a relationship with him. And all you're minding is the quality of the music in your church, but you're not minding about the people that need to come in. You're minding how do people dress up when they come into church, but you're not thinking about how many people are actually coming into church. You're thinking about, okay, my church needs to be with this kind of lights and this kind of air blowing in, and then when you come in, the cars are going this way, and then the flights are going that way. But you're not minding what the Father minds, people. One of the things that, and you can also do this in business, when you're a service or product provider, your boss is your client, right? So how about you mind your client's business? What does your client want? Your client wants, let me speak to graphic designers, right? So graphic designers have the ability of creating very awesome artwork. But one of the mistakes many graphic designers make is creating artwork and delivering it at the wrong time. Which means if I want artwork for an event coming up on the 29th of, 30th of June, but I need time in between to make invitations, and you have the artwork ready on the 28th, instead of the 14th when I needed it. Your artwork may be beautiful, but it will not help me, so you have not done me any good service. So that means your work is useless, as beautiful as it is. That applies to me in my photography world. Sometimes in the past I used to shoot product shoots, but sometimes I would not get the timeline right. So the client is like, hey, I need this work. I'm like, I'd say that I will deliver within 1 week. No, I don't want it within 1 week because next week I have an event. You see, I would change my progi just to make sure that, okay, if they have an event next week and they want the campaign to start this week, and I have just shot today, so they need at least 7 days for this campaign to get to have the kind of traction they need. Even if I shot today and they wanted to start the campaign tomorrow, I would bend over backwards to make sure that they have their images tomorrow. I want to mind their business. Many people have a great product or service, but they don't think about what the customer minds. Sometimes you'll have a very good product or service, but it is overly priced. I mean, when you're selling, and this is something that you can highly think about when you're selling a product or service, when you meet a potential customer. One of the things that other business owners are thinking about is cutting costs. So when I come to a customer, to a potential business that can be my customer, I'm thinking at the back of my head, what would they want? How can I give them what they want? I'm minding their business and also get what I want. So I may have to stop being stuck up on, the price that I want, but then I find a way of giving them what I want, and I also find a way of getting what I can get from this relationship. You see that? So that was just a little bit of business. But now bringing it back here, we need to mind our boss's business. Some of you have never been promoted simply because you're all about what can I steal from this business? What can I take? It's so bad when you have employees who are simply takers, leeches, only looking for what they can take from the business. You're the kind of not you guys, but those are the kinds of people who come to one organization, they have a car. They are given a company car. They drive it till it's a piece of trash. It's not serviced on time, even when there's a company that has been contracted to service the cars. It's the kind of car that will be hit over, run over, and it's turned into garbage. By the time someone is fired or has to transfer to the next job, they are handing over trash, rubbish. And you're wondering why you got fired. I will not tell you what I just thought about, but I think you're a fool. You're a fool if you don't mind your boss's business. But when you mind your boss's business, it may feel like, well, everyone is stealing from your boss. Why don't I just join the bandwagon? Remember, our service is unto the Lord. But we have men and women that God has given us to serve. But as we are serving them, we are serving the Lord. The rewarder is God. Your boss may not be seeing you, but the rewarder in heaven is watching you. All the people who are faithful get rewarded. I was talking to a friend and they were asking me, but what if I do this? Let's say, what if I give, but I'm not receiving what I would expect? What if I'm giving towards the building of the house of the Lord? What if I'm giving to to causes towards the poor and all of that, but I feel like I'm still going through a streak of being broke? I told them, you know what? Don't worry. Stick to the principle. The principle here in this case is God is faithful and God is just. He is a rewarder. And the Bible still says, give and it shall come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together. The principle still remains that when you put a seed to the ground, it will die. When it comes out, it will come back with a lot of fruit. The same is true when you serve another man. When you serve another man, that is your seed for honor, for promotion, for what is yours. If you're faithful in another man's, God will give you what is yours. Damn, I feel like you just love this. Aren't we just friends? Don't you feel like hugging me? This hug is all the way to you. Thank you for sticking around. So guess what? I need you to mind your Father's business. One of the things, if you're listening to me right now, is that the Lord loves you, but you may be running away. What does he mind? He minds having a relationship with you. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, this is yours. I'm telling you, this is yours. Please receive the love of Jesus. Please receive the love of God, which has been expressed through Jesus. This is all you have to do. Repeat this prayer after me. Dear Jesus, repeat this prayer after me. Dear Jesus, today I receive you in my heart. I understand I can't do life without you. I desire all these promotions and all these good things, but I want to first of all have a relationship with you, that I may know you, that I may know God, that I may grow from where I am and live a life that gives you glory. Take my life, do something significant with it. From today onwards, I declare that I'm born again. With that simple prayer, you've accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior. Do you know the next best thing you're going to do? You're going to go to the description right now, to the link. There's a link for those who have just accepted Christ as their Lord and Savior. Or you can call or send a WhatsApp message to this number, +256 775 642 449. Or just go to the link in the description, tap on it. It will take you straight to the WhatsApp chat of this number that I've given you. And what you're going to do is you're going to just say, hey, Steve the Rev just gave me this number. This contact. I've just accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. What do I do next? And the person on the other side of the line will give you what you need to do next. Now, to all of you that have been listening to me, some of you are happy about this message. Some of you are not so happy about it, but guess what? You love it and you really want to change your life. Go ahead and do what I've told you. Start minding your boss's business. If you're a church leader or you're a believer in Christ, you're born again, start going out to evangelize. Tell people about the love of God. Now, finally, go ahead and read the rest of this chapter or verse. No, not the verse. The whole of this chapter. There's a lot of wisdom for you. I keep on sharing with you a verse from the book of Proverbs daily, so that you can read the whole chapter. By doing so, you will grow in wisdom. Now, you not only grow in wisdom, but you get to know Christ, that gift from God, and you get to thrive in life. Now, how about that? Alrighty. So I need you to do this. Finally, find one action that you're going to do daily as a way of you minding your boss's business. Don't say you're going to show up on time. Please, you're expected to show up on time. Don't say you're going to do your work. Of course, you expect. I want you to go over and above. I want you to go extra. Maybe your boss usually wants to get reports, but the reports delay. Be the one to get reports from all your peers and make sure that they get to your boss. Maybe your boss loves it when the office is left clean and tidy and everyone has, done whatever they had to do. Do this. Make sure that all of the employees that you are, your fellow mates that you work with, make sure they've all hit their targets. How about that? Mind what they mind. Hit your targets and over. Do extra. Mind their family. Do you know that people like it when you mind their family? So, you can create a gift. Get a gift, don't create it. Just get a gift. It can be even a financial gift. And then you just go to your boss, put it in a good envelope, and you're like, hey, I just want to, share with you something, some ice cream for the kids. Put 100,000 in there, put 50,000 shillings in there, put 20,000 shillings in there, put $10, $50, $100, $2,000 in there, and like, hey, this is for your ice cream. Hey, I know you're building a house. How about I contribute towards your cement? Hey, how about I know you have your wife's birthday coming up, just a contribution towards that gift. Hey, I appreciate what you do. I have a little financial gift. I'm simply saying thank you for giving me an opportunity to work here. When you mind what your boss minds, promotion is coming your way. That will be all for today. Now I know you like me even more. Bye-bye.